VSO Kenya is all about educating those who have the least amount of opportunities across 9 counties, involving thousands of children and dozens of teachers and volunteers. VSO Kenya has set up programs to help the marginalized get a chance to learn. Girls who are often excluded, children with disabilities who are many times hidden from sight, kids from low-income households where school fees lose out to basic everyday needs. VSO Kenya has designed specially tailored programs to effect change in specific areas across the country. Their Kenya Education Practice Area projects have focused on youth and livelihood, inclusive education and health, marginalized children, including those with disabilities, and women. These programs all emphasized social inclusion and accountability, resilience, with special attention to gender equity.
When I talk of girls, I mean vulnerable girls who, through different vulnerabilities, have been exposed. I mean girls like those who've undergone gender-based violence, early marriages, poverty, girls with disabilities. They've undergone different circumstances in their lives, and so they are rendered vulnerable. And due to these vulnerabilities, they have dropped out of school or never accessed education.
Christine, Josephine and Evelyn are among the 330 students in Chumviere Primary School. In their community in Isiolo County, girls attending class is not a given. Most assist their mothers with work around the home and taking care of their younger siblings as their mothers go out to fend for the family.
There are so many obstacles that make the kids not to attend to school around this area. One of them being the way of life of their parents. Their parents are pastoralists, so sometimes they move with their animals, looking for the pastures and the water. During that time, they are not going to come to school. The other thing is culture. This is a community where mostly girls are married off when they are very young.
But these girls are fortunate. VSO Kenya's Education for Life program has given them an opportunity to learn, to read, do math, and eventually enter into formal education, opening up a world of possibilities for their future.
Nilikuwa nakaa nyumbani kwa sababu wazazi hawakuwa na uwezo wa kunilipia shule. Sasa hiyo group ya VSO walikuja wakanileta shule. Sasa nashukuru sana.
This program, nearly 5 years old now, has helped thousands of girls in marginalized areas of Isiolo, Garissa, Migori, Kisumu and Kilifi counties.
And when it comes to literacy, we use real objects like sticks, counters, and we also use fake notes, currency. So this will enable them actually to interact with the community.
Those 14 and under are primed to go to school with other students in the area. Those 14 and older are prepared to enter the workforce through business or employment. Some opt for vocational training, where they master a skill that can support them. Others become apprentices, learning a trade from someone experienced. Some choose entrepreneurship. Not only will they learn how to run their own businesses, VSO Kenya provides startup kits and even funding to get them off the ground.
Unapewa machine, inzi, ruler, pangasi, kamba. Tunachona nguo napata pesa. Ninaendelea na maisha yangu ya watoto na kusaidia na hiyo pesa ya kuchona.
Here in Migori, some of these students go for skills in areas you would expect. Other girls will surprise you.
Niliona hii, acha nichukue hii ya jua kali, ndio itakayonisaidia maishani. Sikutaka kuchukua kozi ya biashara, juu ningekula mtaji nimalize, singeona faida.
From welding to carpentry, masonry to computer studies.
Mradi kwanza umenisaidia kwa sababu venye tulikuwa tunafundishwa hata life skills. Pia nimepata uwezo ule wa kujiajiri mwenyewe kupitia mradi.
Imenisaidia juu zamani sikuwa naandika nijue kitu ya faida na kitu yenye si faida. Lakini vile nimesoma hiyo masomo ya VSO, sasa najua ni nini inanileta hasara na nini inanileta ya faida. Sasa najua kutofautisha.
For most residents of Kwale County, communication with other people is an essential part of their everyday lives. But what if they couldn't hear others? Most deaf children are left without a language. VSO Kenya thought hard about how to solve this problem. That is why they have invented an early language profile toolkit to help teachers understand how to give the deaf a language.
We came up with a set of activities which are targeted in helping children develop new vocabularies, learn new words, learn how to express themselves differently in different situations.
10 teachers and 10 learning assistants were trained for a week in how to use the toolkit.
When I was called in Kise, I thank my group because we went there and we got many things. When we got many knowledges, became experts in teaching the children who are deaf. Because before we went to the training, we were very different. But when we went there, we got some knowledge about how to teach the children who are. Now we are using the language the techniques which we are taught in the training, so that it can help the children improve their language. Before I went for the training, I used not to apply games in my teaching, but when I went to the training, we were taught many games when you are teaching. We apply many games, demonstrations, so that the children can get the concept well. After the training and when I came here, it's at least I've changed my teaching.
The children, especially those who are attached to that program, they are quick in responding some questions when you ask them. They are also good in signing. That one is a true, I can tell it for free. So you ask them a question, they can just answer you. And they have been with the teachers for just very few weeks. When the 6 months elapses, these teachers are trained. They will continue with the same spirit, and they'll be handing over the baton to the other teacher who is taking over. So this one will continue.
It sounds like the VSO Early Language Profile Toolkit is going to open new doors for special kids. Janet gets welcomed like a hero from girls here in her classroom at Unity Primary School located within the Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya's Turkana County. She is a teacher, but also a trainer of other educators, mentoring them and creating teachers' learning cycles for continuous support. In Turkana, the classroom-to-pupil ratio is 150:1. Normally in Kenya, that would be 40:1. 89% of teachers in this area are refugees with no pre-service training. In response, VSO has developed training packs for teachers in crisis and inclusive education.
VSO is very important. I can say that because it has really worked. Before, most of the teachers, because I think they are just from after Form 4, they are being employed. So they don't have any content about how to scheme, how to lesson plan, how to make records of their work, and how to check on learners' progress. Even marking the register sometimes was difficult.
VSO provided hands-on support.
In most cases, the VSOs come in, then they observe 6 teachers per month. So after observing them, they check the documents, they correct them on how they're supposed to do that methodology when they're teaching. So to me, it has been very positive because it has really mentored our incentive teachers.
Many students are almost starting from scratch.
When these learners came here, they are very new to education. They have never even, they don't know anything about education, most of them.
To deal with this, VSO created the Accelerated Education Program.
So in order for them to cope up with the others, we have that special education program that's called the AEP program, which at least assists them to accelerate their learning away from the other small kids. You know, sometimes there is that discrimination.
Brian was born in the Kakuma refugee camp. He was educated here and is now an incentive teacher in the AEP program.
Actually, it was not my dream to be a teacher, but at least what I'm doing currently is simply like giving back to the society. Because the same way I benefited from my teachers back in high school, I will also wish like my fellow refugees to benefit from me too.
Even with this program, students were worried about being turned away.
You know, like our people were coming from South Sudan, their age. So these people were feeling like they will not be allowed to come back to school because they are seeing majority they have breasts, beards. But we have been trying to motivate them, say age does not affect, but we are just advising them to come and learn.
But this program VSO calls active citizenship through inclusive volunteering and empowerment. Even though it is stuck in the middle of the name, inclusive is the key word to describe this initiative.
Whenever you talk about inclusive education, the first thing that comes to somebody's mind is all about disability. But then people did not understand that inclusion it involves so much beyond disability in this case. So, for example, just talking to teachers, especially for the teenage mothers, sometimes, you know, they are told not to be readmitted in the schools where they were when they got pregnant and so on.
Only 2% of those enrolled in school here are children with disabilities. Teachers didn't even realize what challenges some of their students were facing. The VSO program doesn't just focus on children with disabilities, but adults as well.
We were trained on how we can run businesses, or the way we can try to invest ourselves on business, on farming, or on rearing of animals and other businesses.
The active program has reached over 200,000 individuals. Girls of Turkana hope they continue to reach them.
Nimekuja hapo AEP, nilikuwa sijuangi kusoma na kuongea English or Kiswahili, lakini sasa nimejua kidogo kidogo. Juu hapo AEP amechange life yangu.
When I grow up, I must become as someone who will be helpful to others. Yes. I must be a doctor so that I may help some other sick people in our communities and in the whole worldwide.
Rania is special. She has had to fight through vision problems that require her to sit very close to the blackboard to read. Playing some games with her friends is a challenge, one that Rania has found help in overcoming through integrated school clubs like these.
I saw there are some children who are special need and they need assistance of the others. So the club members usually get hold of the special need children and help them in their endeavors, in their day-to-day life. When they're coming from school, when they're going back to school, when they're going for eating, and when they are chatting.
Many children with disabilities have another challenge, not being able to attend school with their neighbors because their parents are ashamed of them.
Children with disability are very much neglected in our community. People consider them as a curse. They consider them as a form of witchcraft, so they neglect them so much in all aspects, whether it is in food, whether it is in clothing, freedom. They are being hidden inside their houses, or others are being killed.
VSO Kenya, in partnership with ERICS, a development partner, has come to the rescue with its Right to Education and Life initiative. They convinced parents to enroll their children through various methods. VSO required community leaders, influencers, and took to the radio to spread their message of inclusion. A child-to-child approach helped change attitudes from classmates. The integrated clubs teach life skills, and the children with disabilities learn how to speak up for themselves.
Watu walinipenda na wakunidharau, so hata mimi niliwapenda na sikuwadharau.
At Ngenia School outside of Nanyuki, children with various challenges are given responsibilities like all the others, including cleaning their classroom. Jennifer is a single mother who has struggled to find money to deal with her daughter Blessing's physical problems. A deformed foot when she was very young kept Blessing from walking until surgery and therapy were realized. When she was 7, they discovered she's blind in one eye. Jennifer sewed her fingers to the bone to afford medical treatment, all the while keeping Blessing in school. Eventually, she ran out of fabric. Once again, VSO to the rescue.
Wakatuita mkutano shule, wakaniuliza sasa mimi mzazi naweza penda nisapotiwe na nini? Nikamwambia mimi nimefanya kozi ya kushona lakini sina capital. Wakaninunulia materials. Sasa naona wamenisaidia sana.
VSO has procured hearing aids, prosthetics, wheelchairs, and other assistive devices. The drought in East Africa has been devastating. While the dry conditions have made food and water scarce commodities, they have also led many parents to keep their kids at home.
Because of the climate change, you find so many children are becoming street children. They are in town, like now Kakuma, the population has increased for street children. We do even take them to schools, but now schools have become populated because so many children, they are going to schools, to school, and now the population has increased.
Whether supplying basic needs or catering for school fees, they have brought help where it has been needed.
In the area where we work, the main livelihoods are around livestock rearing, which are negatively affected by long droughts and also conflict in the community. So our primary actors, mainly the beneficiaries, face a lot of challenges in accessing basic food and other livelihood support.
Many of the VSO projects, such as Early Language Profiling Toolkit, have been pilot programs. Their success will lead to their adoption by other organizations. But VSO has built partnerships within communities and across sectors with government, private enterprise, and other development organizations, like the Steering Committee in Migori County.
So within the executive, the CEC can influence based on the results of the program. It can influence more allocation and more support, but through bursaries for continuity. And within the steering committee, there are also various stakeholders from various departments and also various backgrounds. So still, if the steering committee can pick it up with the local development partners, there are still ways of sustaining it.
We have built networks within the counties that we work in, both with partners and government-related departments who are supporting education for girls and also education in general.
VSO Kenya will continue to explore ways to impart their knowledge and experience to those who support education. They are ready to partner with government agencies, NGOs, and community organizations to achieve inclusive education and ensure that children with disability enjoy their rights too. Because every child has a right to education.